All right, guys. So today we're going to talk about a product that I've been using probably going on about 10 years right now. And, obviously on the channel, I could sit here and I could peddle a bunch of things that I think most people would like, just to be able to sell some things and also make some videos and views. However, one of the things I would always say is that I will only represent companies that I use and represent things that I believe in as products. And in this case, it's going to be this thing that you see right here. This is a piece of a belt from Core Essentials. And one of the things I'm going to say is that this belt has never let me down, at least the ones that I own. This is a new belt with a new buckle, and we're going to take a look at it right now. All right, so what I'm going to show you right here are really just the pieces of belt that I've cut off to really be able to get a good fit on it. I mean, obviously, as you guys know, if you follow the channel, I've done plenty of reviews on these belts, but you notice each inch is actually labeled with a number. So you're going to have to decide what fits best for you. I mean, for me personally, I kind of go a little bit bigger than I should, but that's just in case, maybe you put on a little bit of weight, or even for that fact, maybe you just need the extra space or want to make sure that if you're carrying a bigger gun, you have that room. So you can cut it down to as small as you want or leave it as big as you want. And that's kind of the key to these belts. One of the things that I also have to say about Core Essentials, when they first came out, they were kind of basic type of belts, leather, that sort of thing. And as you guys can see, you see two different ones. You've got your chocolate chip and you've got your frog skin. And these are really cool looking belts. I mean, obviously people might say, I don't really care what they look like because who's going to see it? But I also think there's a little bit of, people out there like myself who actually care about how things look, because we want things that look good. And, I'm a big believer, look good, feel good, and then you get what you want out of it. You can see here that the belt is finely stitched. I mean, the stitching on here is excellent. There's nothing out of whack. The lines are very straight, very, very nicely done. So there really is nothing here that I would say would cause any kind of concern of breaking down. I know there's been some people in the past who have said that their belts have fallen apart after a while. I personally have never had that experience. My experience has always been very positive with these belts, and that's why I keep on pushing them on my channel. The reason being is because they are excellent quality and they work very well. You can also see that in between you have this, I'm going to say it's like a plastic material, almost like a plasticky rubber material, if that makes sense. And then obviously you have like a cordura outside here. But in the middle of this, you actually have what is essentially the reason why these belts stay so rigid. And there is that core. The core of this belt makes these belts rigid enough to carry just about any size firearm. And at the same time, they are still flexible enough to be able to flex with you and make sure that you're comfortable all day long carrying the gun. Now, one of the other things that I have to say about Core Essentials, and I'm going to grab them off the floor here, but, again, you're seeing the designs and the styles of these belts, and you've got your multicam right here, and then also your chocolate chip. But it's also about their buckles. So this buckle right here is one of their, I don't want to say one of their originals because it's really not, but it has come a long way from what they were. They are steel buckles. They fit very nice, but I have noticed over the years, the size of these buckles have actually gotten smaller. And some people might say, well, is that going to not give you the ability to carry comfortably and also where the gun isn't sliding and all these other things? Again, I've never noticed that. These buckles hold very firm, very tightly. They're super easy to adjust. Hopefully I can get this on camera, but you basically just pull up on the lever and then you slide it out and slide it in. And then when you want to tighten it, you can hear it. The belt locks in place and it's not going to go anywhere. The thing I do like about these smaller buckles, it just makes it a little bit more comfortable, even a little bit more concealable, I guess, because you don't have a big metal buckle sticking out. So that's pretty cool. And again, I believe this is their X7 belt, and it is not as big as the originals. The originals come out to probably about here, so they're a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker. The next belt you see here, this is actually their newest buckle. This is the X12, and you can see it's even shrunk down even more. So now you have a really, really super low profile belt buckle. It's still going to do the same job. It holds everything nice, tight, and firmly. Again, the same mechanism right here. You pull up on that lever, and your belt is able to slide back and forth. You can either hold it or let it go, and you can hear it cinching up the way it should be. Again, just great craftsmanship. You can see all the stitching on there is really nicely done, and everything works perfectly. But again, this is their newest buckle. This is the X12. And, in my opinion, they just get better and better each time. And I do like the fact that these belt buckles are getting smaller and not actually bigger and fatter. So it is much more concealable. This buckle is probably my favorite of all of them. This is kind of like that, I don't know what you want to call it, like a hexagon almost in there, but you can see that it is also a very streamlined buckle. This buckle you see here is their X11. And, you know, size-wise, there really isn't major difference between this and the X12. It is really just a different style of belt. As a matter of fact, I'll compare both of these for you so you can see them side by side. And then I'll give you an opportunity to decide which one you like better. But you can see they're both the same exact size, just a different design on each. I have to say this one's my favorite. It just looks very cool. And again, you know, if you want to talk about does it hold, it holds everything intact. I mean, there's nothing different from the way this buckle is to any of the other buckles. It's just a little bit slimmer, a little bit more streamlined. And again, it holds it perfectly. So again, the stitching is excellent quality. This is the frog skin. This is kind of a limited run. But you can see, again, just the stitching is done really, really nicely. And in my opinion, this belt is by far the best everyday carry belt that I've ever owned. And I will continue to own them as long as this company is in business. So obviously, as many of you know, I absolutely love this belt. I got to say, after 10 years or so, every belt I've ever owned from this company has been absolutely rock solid. There's never been any issues with them whatsoever. After a while, obviously, everything breaks down, especially the leather belts, but they still keep their shape and form. The material tends to break down on the leather part of it, but that's after years and years of use. And in my opinion, having so many different belts over time, this is the one that I stick with the most. I have to say, kind of these nylon belts seem to be the best for me. I just enjoy wearing them. They're super comfortable and they're super rigid, but yet at the same time, they're very comfortable. So you don't really worry about it rubbing or not being able to bend or just have that mobility with the belt. I think overall, you know, you have to decide what works best for you. Me personally, I highly recommend Core Essentials. No, this video isn't paid for. You know, I've done some work for them in the past, but this is my courtesy to them for really just making a product that works and stands out amongst the other competitors out there in the market. I've had other belts. I've compared these belts to them, and every single time this belt comes out on top. It comes out on top for the fact that it is super simple to use, super simple to adjust, and even more importantly, super easy to carry a gun with. So leave some comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me what your thoughts are about the Core Essential brand. And if not, you know, if you don't want to, that's fine, but take a look at it, share the video, and like and subscribe if you haven't. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.